Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel like chemistry.
Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Ashley J. The J stands for Janaya. Welcome back to another video. As you can tell by the title, y'all, we are doing a quick weave with leave out, a middle part quick weave leave out, a middle part bust down quick weave with leave out, y'all. And I'm just walking you through how I do my quick weaves. This one was really rushed, y'all, because as y'all can see, I'm dressed and I need to be out of the house right now. But I'm like, I haven't done a quick weave in a long time. I wanted to give myself a break from the wigs. So I wanted to walk y'all through, like I said, my quick weave process. Yeah, so y'all know I'm a wig girly and I wanted to give my hair a little break from the wigs and just, you know, get a little air circulating up top, y'all. So I went with a middle part quick weave and I love the way it came out. I'm gonna walk y'all through it. So first things first, you want to start off on clean, blow-dried hair. Just like I tell my clients, do not put any extra oils or anything in your hair once you shampoo it, because oils just weigh your hair down. And since we are going to have some leave out, you can oil it once you put your braids in, but just start off with fresh, blow-dried, clean hair. And I'm going to use one new bundle that I got from a company. I can't remember, this video is not sponsored. And then some old bundles that I had from a previous quick weave, and I just snatched those off the cap. So first you want to start off with parting your hair in the style that you're going to do. So since we're doing the middle part, we're going to bust her down the middle. And y'all, my middle part is embedded in my scalp. I wear a middle part just about 85% of the time. So our middle part is already there, but you just want to section out your leave out, just taking out as much hair as you want to leave out. I try to leave out as little leave out as possible, because with this style most of the time it's going to be straight, and so I don't want to damage a whole lot of my hair. And not saying that you're necessarily going to damage your leave out just by having it out, but I'm telling you, the less hair you can leave out, the better. Okay, so I'm just sectioning out, making sure that it's even on both sides. So it's best to split it down the middle, and then you do like a C curve around each side to give you that full U shape. That's the shape you want to have in the middle when you're just sectioning it out, y'all. I was such in a rush this day because I decided to do my hair like 2 hours before I had to leave and go to an event. It was so crazy, y'all, but I had my mind made up that I wanted to do this quick weave. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So yeah, I'm just making sure that I have enough hair out just to make sure we cover the tracks and still, you know, give the fullness that we're going for. So that's why I just keep reparting it. But once you get the section the way you like it, you're just gonna braid it down and get it out of the way. If you can't braid, just twist it. You can do a bantu knot, whatever you can do just to get the hair out of the way so that you can work, you know, without the hair being in the way, and just, you know, make sure install process a little more seamless and a little more hassle-free. Just get the hair out the way the best way you can. It was difficult trying to braid the opposite direction going down, y'all, but like I said, those braids do not have to be neat. We're just getting the hair out of the way. So we're gonna do that on both sides. I just like to split, like I said, split my braids down the middle. Well, you can do one big braid in that section, or you can split it down in like the direction that the part was going. So if you were doing a side part, you can still part your side part and braid 2 braids, and 1 on each side. I like to do that just because it's just neater and you can see what's actually going on. If you do one big braid, it might be in the way when you're trying to lay your tracks and finish styling your hair. So that's why I just split it down the middle, make me 2 braids, 1 on each side, and just keep moving. So once we finish those, we're going to part out the edges. You don't have to leave out edges, but like I said, with the quick weave, you want it to, even with the sew-in, you want this style to look as natural as possible, just in case you want to have some baby hair on the side, or just if you want to wear it in a ponytail, you want it to look as natural as possible. So you can leave out as much edges as you want on the side. I'm just gonna do minimal edges because, again, the more hair you do leave out, you are gonna have to be responsible for during the hairstyle. So if you don't want to have to worry about your natural hair that much, then little edges on the side, you don't have to leave out too much. So that's what I'm just doing here. Some of my edges are a little thin, y'all. Oh, they're struggling. Okay, everybody always asks me, like, what can you do, what can I do to get my edges back? And honestly, y'all, I'm fighting for my life too in these edges. All I can say is keep your hair moisturized. Oils, I mean, hair growth oils are good, but I don't have like an oil that I swear by. You just want to make sure that it has biotin in it It has like peppermint, something to stimulate the scalp, because that does, like I said, stimulate growth. But y'all, I don't have an oil that we all struggling out here with these edges. The best I can do is tell y'all to relieve as much tension as possible. So that's my little tech talk for that. But once you finish parting out your edges, you're gonna also get those out of the way. So I'm just doing a small little twist on each side to get those out of the way as well, because now we're about to actually plait up the back of the hair to that's going to be underneath the cap. So for the back braids, for the back of your hair that's left out, you're going to braid that as best as you can. Of course, I know how to braid, so I'm going to braid mine as neat as possible. Like I said, I was in a rush this day. Usually I would make my braids a lot smaller because I do want the hairstyle to be as flat as possible, but I was rushing this day, so I did make the braids bigger than I normally would. My hair is extremely thick. If your hair is not as thick, then you can make the braids obviously bigger, and they still won't be as bulky. But like I said, I had to make mine somewhat like a medium size. If I had more time, I would have definitely made the braids a little bit smaller, but I'm just gonna braid in a not so cute braid pattern all the way around till we get it all of the hair braided, just pulling each braid up into the next one. I did not show y'all that, but once you finish braiding this braid, once you braid the second braid, you just, I did show y'all, okay, period. Yes, you just pull that up into the braid so that none of the ends is hanging except for one braid when you get to the end. So I'm just gonna repeat that process all the way around, y'all. Like I said, normally I would have done much smaller braids, but you can do twists for the back of your hair to mold your hair down. You can do twists, you can do braids. If you want to do like a wet mold, honestly, that one may take a little time, but again, it just depends. All it depends to me on the density of your natural hair. The mold may itch a little faster than doing braids, because we all know that the quick weave is going to itch regardless, but the mold may itch a little faster than just doing braids. People always ask me, how do you get this quick weave not to itch so bad, y'all? So once you finish your braids, you're gonna go, this is where you can oil your scalp. I like to use the Design Essentials anti-itch and tension relief oil. It's still going to itch, y'all. I don't know, it's still going to itch, but at least if you put like I said, a good amount of oil on your scalp before you apply the cap and all of the different products, it may relieve it just a tad. But I don't have any tricks for this quick weave not to itch. I wish I did, but I don't. So now we're gonna go in and start melting down our cap. I'm using a brown cap just so that you can actually see the braids, because you want to put the Morning Glory on the outside of your leave out. But first I'm gonna just stitch the cap down, just because I don't want my cap to roll up in the process of me putting the Morning Glory, cutting the cap before I glue my tracks down. This is just for extra security. You do not have to sew your cap down around the back. I just do that because, like I said, I don't like my cap to roll up in the back or come up in the back, and so this is just, like I said, for an extra layer of security. But girl, I promise you, you can skip this step, especially if you apply the Morning Glory properly. And you could also add an extra layer of hair glue around the perimeter as well. But we're jumping ahead, so let's just slow it down just a tad. This is the brand of the Morning Glory, the protective shield that I like to use. It's the dark one in the black and purple bottle. I know they have a clear shield as well. I believe they all work the same, but once I use one and it works for me, that's the one that I continue to go back with. But like I was telling y'all before, you're just gonna outline your part section with the Morning Glory first, because you definitely do not want that to lift once you cut the cap. So you want to go ahead and outline the outer perimeter of your cap first, so that can go ahead and dry. This is going to make sure that your cap does not move once you cut the excess cap off, once it is all dry. So you can be as heavy-handed as you want to be with this Morning Glory, y'all. I only had a little bottle, and I don't know why. I had a big bottle. I couldn't find a big bottle. Once I finished my hair, I found a big bottle. But anyway, that's a story for another day. You can definitely be heavy-handed with this Morning Glory as long as you give it the proper time to dry, make sure that it's completely dry. So you're just going to saturate your cap with that. You can put the Morning Glory on your natural hair without the cap, but over here we're gonna put it on top of the cap, okay? Because we still want to make sure that we're taking care of our natural hair as much as possible. So over here we're gonna put it on top of the cap. As you can see, it's definitely easier to apply with the what is this damn brush called? I'm about to call it a painting brush, but y'all get what I'm saying. It's definitely easier to apply the Morning Glory with the coloring brush. And once I don't have a sit under dry. If you have a sit under dry, then this process will be a whole lot faster. But yes, you definitely want to make sure that your cap is all the way dry. The way you'll know it's dry, obviously, from the touch, but it will also just be hard and really shiny. That's how you'll know it's dry. So I did that on and off, blow drying it, letting it air dry. I did that for about 10, maybe 15 minutes, y'all. Like I said, I was in a rush, so I had to make sure I just had to hurry up and dry my cap. So once it's dry, you want to cut off the excess cap around the perimeter. Like I was telling y'all before, cut the excess cap around off of the wig cap, and then you're going to start gluing your tracks. You can use any hair glue that you prefer. I use the one with the red top, purple red bottle. This is the one that I use, and you're gonna just start by gluing your tracks on. This is the closest, y'all, that we're gonna get to, what is it, geometry, architecture, what is it? This is the closest that you're gonna get, okay? Cutting tracks, measuring them. This is the closest that you're gonna get. So I start off by just doing around the nape of my neck, but kind of like almost right under the ear. That's how I laid my first track, and I just feel for it. I didn't have time to look for a mirror, y'all. Like I said, I had to get the tracks on there and go. With the quick weave, one thing I love that it does not have to be perfect. As long as you feel the cap, as long as the track is not sticking to no hair, then you can lay that track exactly wherever you have it. Like, and if you want it full, you can, put your finger through there and kind of feel for different spaces. But y'all, that's the one thing I love about doing a quick weave. It does not have to be perfect. As long as you got some glue and them tracks ain't coming off and falling off and slipping off, then you are good to go. So I just continue to measure the tracks along the line of my head. I kind of do like a deep U shape until I get all the way to the top, like middle to the top. I do like a U shape because I want the tracks to fall in my face. If you want the tracks to fall in your face, this is how you want to lay your tracks. You want to lay it all the way. I hope I do it in this clip, but you want to lay it all the way to the top of your leave out. So the track needs to meet your leave out. That way, when you take out your natural hair, and the weave will just fall, like I said, right in your face. And to me, that just gives you the most natural full look possible. So this process is really repetitive. You just want to keep measuring the space that you have left on your head, cutting the track, and gluing it on. There is some techniques where you do not have to cut the track, but y'all, if you have to cut that track, anybody got time for be talking about, I don't want to cut my tracks, I don't want to cut my tracks? Nobody has time for that. Eventually, in the back, yes, you can get away with not cutting your tracks, but as you get further to the top, and if you especially want the quick weaves to just lay as flat as possible, eventually you are going to have to cut the track, y'all. So the lengths that I'm using, I used, the bundle was a 24-inch bundle, and I believe the other bundles, the loose pieces, were like 22, 20 inch. So it's kind of somewhere in between like a 20, 22, and a 24. I didn't have time to cut it. I wanted to wear it straight though for where I was going this night. We just kept it straight. Like I said, we were already pressed for time. And in between, as you can see, in between me laying like 2 or 3 tracks, I go ahead and blow dry that all in so that they do not move. You don't have to blow dry after every single track. You can blow dry, like I said, after every 2 or 3 tracks. Some people don't blow dry until they get to the end. it's your prerogative, but I do like to blow dry in between as I go because, like I said, I do not want my tracks to slip. Period. Once you start making your way to the top, you are going to continue to following the shape of the space that you have left, but you're going to just start closing in that U shape. And I do flat iron the tracks at the top just because, again, you want the style to be as flat as possible. And some, as you can see that before I start straightening them, the tracks do have like a slight wave in them. So if you go ahead and, straighten it before you put it in, it just saves you some little time at the end with the styling process. So you just want to fill it in till there's no more cap showing. And you do this process the best way you see fit. If you need to cut little pieces like you see me doing to fill it in, then do just that. Or you can just continue going in that U shape until you fill it all the way in. But it's very important that you make sure you don't see any cap once you get to as closest to the leave out as possible. Don't glue on your hair, but definitely cover that cap up because you will be able to see the separation from the leave out and your cap and the natural hair, if that makes sense. If you do not fill it in all the way to the top, trust me, you will see like an empty little gap, a little air space in there if you don't fill it all the way in. Once you finish laying your tracks and covering up the wig cap, then you want to start taking down your leave out. And this is the best part to me. I love the styling part because you just see the look, just come to life. So I'm just taking down my braids. As you can see, they get a little crinkly. But like I said, we're just gonna leave the hair straight. So I'm gonna straighten my leave out first, and then I'm going to straighten it with the weave so that it all blends. I do love to use my wax stick. I use my wax stick before I go in with the flat iron. Any brand wax stick is fine, y'all. I have just been using the same wax stick for forever. And it's by, oh, what is it by? Lusters. I've been using the same wax stick and it does the job for me. So you just rub that on there. You don't want to do a lot because the wax stick can grease your hair down and you don't want it to be stiff because you want to keep the body in there. I also go in with some silk fusion. I'm using Chi, but you can use bio silk. You can use, it's a lot of silk fusions out there, but what I have on hand is Chi. So we're going to go with Chi. And of course, you want to use some heat protectant because we are about to apply heat to our hair. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but I do use 450 heat. I'm sorry, I need my hair to be as straight as possible. So I do use 450 heat, but I use ceramic flat irons. People always ask me, once I do their hair, what flat irons I use, y'all. I use a ceramic flat iron H2 Pro Holy Grail flat iron. I do not suggest using the Babyliss titanium on your natural hair. Sorry, not sorry. But yes. So I'm gonna blow dry it all because that's gonna put that body back in there and like help straighten out the leave out a little bit more, get those crinkles out from when we had those braids in. That's just a little secret for girls that have like a thicker texture. You definitely want to blow dry it first before you go in with that flat iron again because your hair has just been kind of sitting and it's naturally gonna swell. So yeah, we're gonna blow dry it first before we go ahead and apply the heat. But like I said, y'all, I use a ceramic flat iron. It is the best for our natural flat ironing my leave out first, and then blending it in with the tracks, just so that you don't be able to tell the difference between the tracks and your natural hair. Of course, please don't forget your edges, y'all. I do have a skinny flat iron. If you have a skinny flat iron, use the skinny flat iron on your edges. But like I said, y'all, I was in a rush. When I tell y'all I was in a rush, so I just was, I just did what I had to do and use this big flat iron. But if you do have a skinny flat iron and you have a little more time than me, definitely use the skinny flat iron for your edges, so you can just get closer to your scalp as possible, and just get the edges really, really straight. But yeah, so I'm just gonna repeat that process. As y'all seen, I went and did my makeup off camera. Your girl has got to get out of the house. So once we finish straightening out the leave out, we're gonna go ahead and get dressed. But so yeah, I think this style came out really cute, y'all. People always also ask, how long does a quick weave last? How long can you wear a quick weave? How long? How long? How long? To me, some people say that their quick weaves can last 2 months. Some people say that they wear their quick weaves for a month. Y'all, that is totally up to you, how your hair is holding up, all of the different things. Me personally, I don't wear my hairstyles that long at all. So I have worn this quick weave so far almost 3 weeks. That's good for me. Like, that's stretching it. But again, if it's nothing wrong with your weave, none of the tracks are slipping, the weave is not tangling, like, the weave is great quality, definitely wear your quick weave for 2 months, because it can last that long. All you need to do is shampoo your leave out in between. And if you want to shampoo the weave, of course, don't get the tracks extremely wet, because it can slip off. But I say wear your hair, girl. Like, you don't have to change your hair that often. I promise you. I promise you. Quick weaves do last. If you can get through with the itching, they do last, y'all. So we're about to put the finishing touches on there and go ahead and get dressed. And I'm going to come out with the finished look. I hope you guys find it helpful. Like I said, I was in a rush, but I definitely wanted to get this video up. But let me know if you have any questions down below in the comments, and what other videos you would like to see, or hairstyles you would like to see me create. Let me know down below in the comments, girl. Before you go, do not forget to subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.